I don't want this to be one of those corporate emails. You know those corporate emails you get where the boss sends out an email to everybody, all, and it's really meant for like 3 people, and you know who they are. But everybody got to get it. Everybody got to get it. And, you know, we got to start doing this. And like, I don't do that. He talking about Peanut. Okay, why not just send a private email to Peanut and leave the rest of us alone?
To whom it may concern.
Okay, hey, listen.
Yeah.
What are they talking about? Now, before we talk about the Dallas Cowboys, you don't trust the Dallas Cowboys. Ooh, let's zoom in a little bit more because Dak Prescott was getting a lot of love. Oh, he's an elite quarterback. He's the MVP.
Oh, for me,
Lamar might get it.
I said he was different. I said there was something different about Dak Prescott this year.
Okay.
No. You
don't trust him now?
No, and I tried to trust him this year. So thank you, because the next thing I was gonna get to is, like, we're recording this at 10 o'clock Eastern. 10 o'clock Eastern. So yesterday, as the blowout was taking place, and certainly after the game, last night, there were plenty of people already, and even going into the game. Because remember, last week we talked about Jerry Jones saying, hey, you know, and he tried to clean up on aisle 6. Jerry Jones talked about before the game, we'll see what happens week to week when it comes to Mike McCarthy and the coaching staff. Then he said, no, I couldn't be happier with Mike McCarthy. But there was so much rampant speculation about Mike McCarthy having to advance in the playoffs, not being able to survive, you know, an early round exit, and specifically Bill Belichick. I think you and I even talked about that relationship. Whereas on the surface, it may not seem like a match between Bill Belichick and Jerry Jones. And how a guy like Belichick, who's so, you know, averse to the press and doesn't doesn't like the spotlight and certainly doesn't want a meddlesome owner who's had all his personnel power for all these years, why would he work well with Jerry Jones? Well, come to find out, as you know, that they have a long-standing relationship and admiration for each other, right? So look, it's 10:30 a.m. Eastern while we're having this conversation on Monday.
It's going down.
I don't wish a firing on anybody. But by the time this gets posted to YouTube, by the time this podcast gets published, wherever you get your podcast, by the time this airs on Peacock, Mike McCarthy may already be gone. Like, I'd be shocked if Jerry Jones took his time deciding to do the same thing over and over and expect a different result. Like, Mike McCarthy is a good coach. He's not the coach to get you where you want to go. Okay? Dak Prescott is a good quarterback. He's not the quarterback to get you where you want to go. So for all the reasons you talked about, Michael, he ain't done it here. But for all the reasons you talked about, Michael, I don't know that just add Belichick is the answer. I don't know that Bill Belichick, because to me, how many times can you watch it? How many times can you watch a team implode? How can you watch an organization implode from top to bottom in the playoffs and not decide just to blow it up? The idea that Bill Belichick will walk through that door and he alone is the missing ingredient, it's more than Mike McCarthy. It's Dak Prescott. It's more than Dak Prescott. That was a complete and total failure on the part of every aspect of the organization. Giannis Antetokounmpo would say that the equipment guy failed. He'd say that they didn't wash the jerseys well enough. Like, everybody is accountable for what happened yesterday. And so the idea of bringing in Bill Belichick and saying, all they need is a different voice and a different coach and different leadership, I don't know that it stops there. I think they need a different quarterback. And lastly, Michael, before I pass it to you, a different quarterback and different players. Lastly, before I pass it to you, and this isn't just exclusive to the Cowboys. This is the Eagles, where Nick Sirianni's on the hot seat. This is any other franchise. Belichick is not bringing Brady with him. I believe that a lot of teams are setting themselves up for disappointment. And make no mistake, that is not to suggest that Bill Belichick is simply a product of Tom Brady. Please don't misunderstand me. I'm not saying it was all Brady. Not for you, that's for the people in the back. I'm not saying it was all Brady what they did. I'm not saying he is not a good coach on his own. I'm not saying Brady could have won with anyone else other than Bill Belichick the way that he did. I'm saying that Belichick and Brady made the magic in New England. And if you think that fairy dust or that pixie dust is going to transfer from Foxborough to AT&T Stadium or to Mercedes-Benz Stadium or to the Link, I think you're mistaken. I don't think it's that easy. I think you're setting yourself up for disappointment if you think Bill Belichick will snap his fingers and get you over the hump that you think he will.
Well, I hear you. I know you're not saying it was just all Brady. I know you're not saying that.
Just like it's not all Mike McCarthy.
Okay, but let me just say, with Belichick and Brady, they were the foundational pieces of it. Let's say it's a bookend. I look at it as bookends. One bookend was Bill Belichick. The other bookend was Tom Brady. And he had a lot of stuff in between that made it work. Tom Brady was able to take his side of the bookend, and that thing traveled because he got more support in Tampa and got his 7th ring. Mm-hmm. I think Bill Belichick, without Tom Brady, but with support, can take, especially in Dallas. Now, I don't know if Dallas is a fit for him. I actually think he's going to Atlanta, but I could be wrong. But if he goes to Dallas, I think that's a good situation for him. Number one, let's just start here. Before we start talking about personnel and who's going to be his quarterback, Bill Belichick has been in more playoff games, has been in and won more playoff games than anybody.
Yep.
So the moment is not too big for him. He just knows how to approach playoff games. He just, he's psychologically, he's at peace. He's at home in those situations, and he knows how to communicate that to his players.
Can I interject?
Yeah, go ahead.
And I'm gonna get it right. I'm gonna redirect it right back to you. And I know you're not finished, but are you saying then that Bill, which we all would agree, that Bill Belichick, even though Mike McCarthy's won a Super Bowl, Bill Belichick will be an upgrade over Mike McCarthy and will be able to handle the pressures? Okay, so we agree on that. So my question to you is it simply a matter, like, was yesterday all on Mike McCarthy?
It's not all on Mike McCarthy. I agree with you. It's not all on him. But tone setting is important. Your leader has to set a tone. Everybody else follows that. And if everybody else is not following the lead dog, then that is a problem in and of itself. That, we ain't following him. We're doing our own thing. So I think you got to set the tone as a head coach. That's one. The other thing is, Belichick is a problem solver. Now, he got himself into such a deep problem in New England where he couldn't solve that. He had to go because he created such a mess. He can't clean that up anymore. We need somebody else to clean up the mess that you made. But with a team like the Dallas Cowboys, he could. See, I think part of the problem with them, it's not just Mike McCarthy. They gave up 48 yesterday, and I know they had pick 6.
You're right.
Gave up 48. Dan Quinn, supposed to be a head coach in waiting. Hey, man, what was your defense doing? Your defense had no clue. I think the problem with Dan Quinn's defenses and Mike McCarthy's offenses is that sometimes they are we do what we do kind of teams. And that's the opposite. Belichick doesn't believe in that. We do what we do. Sometimes you got to do something different. When you're facing a quarterback who down the stretch had 18 touchdown passes, 1 interception, led his team to a 6-2 record, got that number 7 seed, and survived some of I think they had a 3 or 4 game losing streak in the middle of the season. They survived that, and then they became one of the hottest teams in football. You can't be a do what we do kind of team, especially facing a coach who's got a pretty good winning percentage himself. So, I don't think it's all on McCarthy, but I think McCarthy is guilty because he did not set the proper tone. I could see him yesterday. He had no composure. I hate to get into body language, but he had no composure on the sideline. He was freaking out. He was freaking out, Mike. And the team was too. I think Belichick is the type of coach, not the only one, but the type of coach who can take what they have, kind of reposition it a little bit, tweak it, and get them over the top. At least get them to the NFC Championship game, which they haven't been to in this century.
I think it's culture. I think everything you talked about, Michael, you had the words, but it almost sounded like you couldn't quite put your finger on it, but you had different theories. Is that fair? It was like, what is it? Because you said, I don't mean to seem like I'm making excuses for the players. I think the word is culture, I think. And I just don't know that the culture that Bill Belichick created in New England is going to transfer as easily to Dallas or Philadelphia. And by as easily, I mean where he and he alone can fix it. Sorry.
Yeah.
I don't. Sorry.
Oh my God, that's so funny. That's so funny that you caught that. I was like, ooh, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
And if y'all didn't catch it, it's fine. We ain't gonna explain it.
Yeah.
If y'all didn't catch it, good. I'm glad you did.
I'm not so certain, and that's less about Belichick. Again, less about Belichick and but it's more about what he and Brady, how special, and Mike, that's Mike Vrabel. It's not like this everywhere. It's like, how special and unique that was, the culture and the environment that they thrived under. I don't know that it's as easily transferable as one thinks. It's not like Bill Parcells didn't work for Jerry Jones. It's not like he hasn't had, and just the word talent. Don't tell me about talent ever again when it comes to this team. I don't want to hear nothing about their talent. I don't want to hear jack shit about their talent. Because, and again, this was not a gang up on Shelby Day, bash the Cowboys, make fun of the Cowboys. This is, my heart goes out. And I respect the people who are riding with them, but the people who year in and year, because Cowboys fans, the other part about it is they talk so much shit. And they put on for their team like they just won it. That's crazy.
Right.
Like Browns fans don't walk around with their chest poking out. Like Falcons fans, they don't walk, like none of these people walk around with their chest poking out. Like you have so many Cowboys fans who are flexing off of stuff that their parents told them about. They are flexing off of stuff that they never saw, that they never experienced. You know what I mean? Like, yo, I'm a Cowboys fan, right? Because my dad was a Cowboys fan. Oh, your dad was the last person to see him in the championship game. It's just, and so they bring a lot of the stuff on themselves, but it's just, nonetheless, God bless you. And I hope that you are as committed to other things in your life as you are to this disappointing football team, because that is a character trait. If you can stick with these Cowboys through thick and thin the way that you do, it says something about you, and I admire it. I wish I had that kind of loyalty in me. I'm not that loyal to somebody that consistently lets me down. I would have moved on. I'd have found something else to do myself. It's unbelievable.
Hey, thank you for watching Brother from Another. If you haven't hit that subscribe button, go ahead and do that now. Don't forget, you can catch us 3 to 4 weekdays on PeacockTV.com and on Sirius XM Channel 85.